Hello? Am I live? I've got no idea. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you can see and hear me. I don't know what's going on. It's on a bit of a delay. Let me know if I'm talking to myself. Ram says, here we go. I hope that means you can see and hear me. I'm trying to check on my phone frantically at the same time. Hello, hello, yes I am. Lovely, we're all good. Right, you may notice I'm one hairy man down. He's having some tech issues. So the call is live, he's trying to join and he may pop up at any point. So we're just going to go ahead, I think, until he turns up. He's still texting me, this guy. No, there's no way of me calling you in, Andy. I've tried, it just doesn't do anything. Hangouts could be down. Keep clicking that link, my man, and come rescue me from myself. Hello everyone, evening Ray, evening Colm. Haircut imminent. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is the longest I've had my hair in years. Going for the rock star. Daryl, wouldn't be a ChampMan stream without tech issues. Bang on the money. Well, hopefully he'll grace us with his presence. Robe in hand. How did everyone get on anyway? My dead team got 81 points. I think I'm already down to about 8 players for this week though. Oh, there he is. He's in the chat, Andy. I'm here. He just can't get on. Gutting. I don't know what to say, mate. The show must go on. Should we get into the review then, guys? The suspense is killing us. Oh, you got a little bit to wait, Rob. We're going to review the games first of all. But we'll try and fly through it. Teach mode. He's in the chat. Fantastic job those guys did, right? Mode and Irons smashed it out the park. I thought 83, 90, 82. Jesus Christ. It was a high scoring week, to be fair, wasn't it? Very high scoring. So this was the first game, 1-0, one of the lowest scoring games. As you can see here, Bolton, pretty good for it. Ended up getting 6 shots on target. Oh, can I hear Andy?
Hey, yeah, I think I'm here.
Oh, I think I hear Andy. His gate crashed. He's got in.
Let me in, let me in, let me
mate,
in.
Your beard is massive. Let me sort you out. You had the biggest beard in the world for a second.
Let me in, let me in.
There he is. I think that's sorted. Let me move this chat now.
Can you get the game so I can see the game live?
Oh yeah.
I'm on delay. Yeah. Don't break anything. Sorry, guys. Apologies. Tearing my hair out then. I was like, let me on. I've got to tell everyone about my week.
I've got to move everything again now. This is a nightmare. Can you see the game?
I can see the game, yeah.
Okay.
Now I can see mirrors though.
Yeah, I'm going to sort the mirrors issue out. I just need to reposition you. You sure you can see the game?
At the moment, I can see the game now, yeah. Bolton
Sweet.
1, Villa 0, yeah, that's cool.
No, that's not right either. Your head's cut out. There we go.
Don't worry about my head or anything. I just want to be here and just sit here and listen to your wisdom.
My wisdom. Never heard that before.
Luke, you're the wisest man about this game. Knowledge.
The saddest man. Replace wise with sad. Right, we were in the middle of doing the game review, but Andy, how did you get on, more importantly?
I did okay, 80 points, which I was happy with after the team news came out, which I'm sure we'll get to later. So the team news came out and I was missing Bramble, missing Terry, missing Kinnett. Ziege, my punt on the bench. I kind of knew Ziege might miss out.
I told you about Ziege, you muppet.
It's true, but the fixture was there, and if he started, I was fancying a return. I mean, Fortune returned. So I know it was a punt, but then to have the other 3 missing, like pretty nailed on players, not 100% nailed, but Terry, Bramble, and Kinnett, as close to nailed as you can get, I thought. But so it's nice when Ziege came on for the 1 point. There's an extra point to give me 80. That was good. But yeah, pretty good. Samba punt was very nice. I think it was 9% of us that went with Samba. So the wisdom from that came through. I was glad he started, and after I saw his start, and I was thinking, Yeah, he's got to return today. He's good enough in the game to return, so very happy with that. Arca return at the end was nice. Not many people went for Arca, especially Arca over Petkov.
Scored more than Petkov. Yeah, I knew. It took you a minute. Well done,
which we'll get to. That. So that was good. But Carboni with a return, which was nice as well. So he did all right. Dyer disappointing that they won 3-0 against 9 men, and he didn't get anything apart from a clean sheet bonus. So I thought Dyer might get something because Stephen Hughes seemed to nick everything there. And a clean sheet from Silvestre, Beckham, Van Nistelrooy captain, Yuski Jääskeläinen clean.
Triple Man United worked out pretty well, didn't it? To be
fair? Yeah,
really
good triple.
Really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, I'm glad Beckham's outscored Veron. I think the ownership of that was pretty close. Fairly happy moving forward. My team doesn't look too bad this week. I might make 1 or 2 moves, but we'll get to that later.
Cool.
Yeah, but I'm happy. So I mean, your dead team got similar. I think was it 80 points as well?
I think I got 81 points. I had, but I had a few. I mean, obviously it's for the season, so I've not looked at fixtures. But funnily enough, I've got Man United players in there and stuff, so it did fine. I've got 2 Bolton players. I think. I had Gardner. Sorry, I had Hippier, who I didn't think would play, but he did play, obviously, so that was a bonus. Yeah,
I mean, I was tipping Bolton last week. I said triple Bolton with the 3 out of 4 home fixtures could do very well, and their defenders. The big burly defenders came through, didn't they? So.
Yeah, they did indeed. I've got my vice captain on Kevin Phillips, which I don't see many people have in their teams, and I think he's like, for me, it's like the perfect dead team pick player because he's that premium striker that hopefully will play the vast majority of games and not get injured. So he's basically my perfect VC for when Van Nistelrooy decides to pop down Tesco's or whatever. So that's kind of the way I've set it up, and he obviously scored some points away, which was a nice bonus.
Yeah, I'll just going back to the lineups as well, because I had Terry vice captain. And the Chelsea team sheet was out first. And I was like, oh no, if United have rep 12 and I haven't got a captain, like I was bricking it for about 2 minutes. So I didn't experience this last season. It was great. It was great fun.
Horrible stuff, isn't it? We'll get onto that. I'll talk about Bramble and Terry a bit later, actually, and so why I'm going to talk about rotation in general, because there's going to be some new players and some refreshing that he's doing and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, let's get on with the review then. So Bolton, as you can see here, they did pretty well. 6 shots on target, 11 shots in total. They had 50-50 of the play. And like you said, the centre-backs did pretty well. Whaley came off for that pre-60 sub, which he is a good player. He's obviously 4.5 million, but when you've got Michael Carrick on the bench, there's always a chance that will happen. Sometimes it's Sherwood that will go off, but you got to take those 1-pointers on the chin, I guess. You're not going to be looking to start this guy most of the time, though. Unfortunately, you don't often get a chance in this game. It will just throw them in there, won't it?
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, this week, a lot of people had Wally on the bench, but they had to use him, and 1 point was unlucky.
Yeah. Rod Wallace started off well, 4 shots and assists. I think he's one of the better, cheaper strikers in the game. Probably on pens as well. So I think he's a decent option. For Villa, if you went with Dublin, I think you got a little bit unlucky because Alpay got injured in the 16th minute. And as you can see here, they brought on Bosco Balaban. So to me, that means Dublin went straight to centre-back to cover for Alpay. And then Balaban was up top. So Dublin centre-back from the 16th minute, pretty much. It's not what you want, really, is it?
No.
But yeah, I mean, Villa away from home, they're not going to root up any trees. So probably a fair result in the end.
Yeah, just a great performance from those centre-backs, really. Good to see.
That's it. Chelsea derby, as you would expect, one-way traffic. Absolutely battered them, really. Action zones as well, 63% to 37%. They had 1 shot on target, which was the goal. We're used to that in CM, which is annoying. There's not much you can do about that. But those of you who, I think last year, this was the game where Melchiot scored a hat-trick, and when Derby play this formation, they leave the flanks pretty much totally open. And so a lot of the points will come from the flanks. So as you can see here, obviously Babiaro got an assist, played a 9. Chelsea's fullbacks are known for this. The assist came from Carboni out wide, Zenden out wide. So all the wide players basically dominated this game because they've basically got a free reign. And yeah, Gallas obviously filling in for Terry and doing pretty well.
Yeah, frustrating to see that Gallas. I mean, that's Terry. That's Terry right there.
Yeah,
but,
could easily have been.
It was good to see Derby score though. I was pleased about that because I mean, the people that had Desailly won for absolute monster haul after his goal as well. So.
Yeah, I've got Desailly, so he scored, and then obviously Derby is conceded. It was annoying. Valakari again. This guy just doesn't go away, does he? He just seems to be a machine. He just keeps.
He's a decent. 6.5. It's a decent player, isn't he? Really.
It's frustrating. I don't know how he managed it. It doesn't matter which formation they play or what goes on. He's just really consistent player. He just seems to chip in points all over the place.
Yeah, he's a better pick than Gerrard or Lampard.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Peter Carter saying can't drop Gallas after getting man of the match. Right, I'm going to address this now. Okay, prepare yourselves, guys. Okay, I'm trying to explain this old antiquated game. Okay, when you play this game, obviously you're supposed to manage it, and you don't really take notice of how the AI rolls. You do your own thing, right? And the game wants you to pick your players and set up your team, and it's obvious most of the time who you should play because the players have got good stats, they've got a good name, you might know them because you're experienced. But there will always be some players that you take over a team you don't really know, and there'll be one or two options where you're not sure who to play, right? They look pretty similar, you don't know who's better. So what do? You probably play one of them, see how they do, and then if they don't do well, they put in the other guy, right? And you sort of go off of form a little bit, and you sort of rotate them maybe. Now, when you think about it, the game can't really work like that because it needs some sort of metric to decide who it's going to play. It can't just go off of form because you could have Van Nistelrooy play game week 1, get injured in the 11th minute, so he'll have a 6, come back, get a red card in the next game, go off with a 5 within 5 minutes. Now, we've all played CM, we know this can happen, it's not even far-fetched, that could easily happen. He could then serve a 3-game ban, he could come back, get another red card, suddenly he's got 6-5-5, and meanwhile, Danny Webber or Solskjaer, whoever's up front, has been absolutely tearing it up because he plays up front for Man United. Obviously, you'll get chances. So when Van Nistelrooy comes back, the game would just carry on playing Webber, and then you'd have just like these ridiculously unrealistic situations where you'd be playing and like half the league are just, they've got, Barcelona would have Saviola on the bench or Kluivert on the bench and something like, why aren't they playing them? It's just ridiculous that they're not playing them. So it can't really pick off form. It has to pick off of some sort of metric, and that basically is their reputation and their ability. So some players have got a high reputation because they're well known. Reputation is literally how well they are known. So I don't know, you get some Tom, Dick or Harry off the street and say go manage Barcelona, even he'd probably know he's got to play Messi, right? Because he's got a ridiculously high reputation. So it's got that as like the first metric, but it's also got ability of players. So the current ability of a player is a sum of some of their attributes, not all of them, some of them, which is kind of flawed. It works okay, but at the same time, it doesn't take into account specialists, which this game is very good at. So it will pick an all-rounder player who's got a high ability and high reputation for a role, which is generally a good way for the AI to pick some of its best players, but it'll often then miss, I don't know, like Mokoku, who's not got a particularly good ability, but he's a really good dribbler. So as a result, he's actually better than all their midfielders in centre midfield because it likes the specialist, the intrinsic ability. It's a really good dribbling role to be, an AMC or a winger and dribble past all your opponents. But it doesn't pick him because it has to go on these metrics of picking the ability and the reputation above hand. So as a result, it doesn't matter that Mokoku comes in and plays a 10 or plays a 9. It reverts back to the ability and the reputation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I mean, with that as well, I mean, so Gallas there, I can ask a question. So Gallas, would he boost his reputation for that game to make him a stronger contender against Terry?
Not enough. It's too short term, that is. So that's one side of what represents. This doesn't really explain the Gallas-Terry thing. That's just like an overview of the game doesn't really pick on form for those reasons. Okay, it just picks people on their reputation and ability. Now, some people are so close in reputation and ability. So Gallas has got a high reputation. He's like won the World Cup with France by now, has he? Or close or something like that. And he's got good ability, so he's very, very close to Desai and Terry. So these players are kind of rotatable players most of the season. The classic example is Dwight York and Andy Cole. Mm-hmm. As you can see, some sims you'll play York's favoured, some sims Andy Cole's favoured, but a lot of the time they'll rotate all season because they're just so close and the game can't decide. It doesn't base it on form. You can see Dwight York didn't score for 20 games? Keeps playing him, doesn't matter, keeps playing him. So that's like an example where the AI can't really choose, and these players are like, we call them the rotatable players. So they'll always be rotatable players. Now these things can change eventually. Like you said, their ability could go up, they could go on the decline, their reputation could change, and there'll start to be a gap, and then therefore that player will become nailed or more nailed. So that's another metric as to how the AI picks its players.
And that's like someone like Samba as well, isn't it? He's building his reputation now. If he gets like England under 21s, for example, that kind of thing.
yeah, that will happen in the future, but at the moment he's still too far off of Harris. So that's another metric. So then you've also got team reputation, which then is another way for basically squad harmony. It's a way, you've got two different things working in the background. You've got this metric which says, right, you've got to pick your best players because it's got to make sense and you've got to pick your best players. But at the same time, you've got to keep your squad happy because you can't have 30 people. And you must have seen this when you play. Sometimes they're really bad at managing their squad. In fact, Thomas Sorensen's a good example in Sunderland. Everyone's pissed off with him. He's the second keeper. They still don't sell him. The whole squad's really unhappy, which is generally supposed to be a bad thing. So to keep people happy, it's supposed to throw these guys in every now and then and keep the squad happy so you don't have everyone wanting to leave on a free to sign a new contract. So it will throw these guys in at random, basically, to just try and keep the squad happy. And the reputation mechanic gives them the games that it should do that they'll be okay on. It will say, look, you'll be all right in this one. You're at home to Derby. You should just throw this guy in because you can keep him happy and you can win it anyway with whoever you've got. Does that make sense?
So, yeah, that does make sense. I mean, people are asking, do they sell Terry now? Because Gallas is so close to reputation. And is it going to happen all the time?
No. So Terry is ahead of Gallas. And Terry will play probably over 30 games. Almost certain. So the other part, which is, this is kind of just theory now. So you've also got rotation result as a result of their condition. But you've also got it where when you go into the game editor, you can actually see that the game keeps track of the amount of times a player has started in a row. It will show you, for example, Carboni, 26 starts in a row. And there's other metrics going on behind the scene where it's counting how many times a guy's played in a row. And sometimes it will randomly then, I think, drop these guys because they've had too many in a row and the other guy hasn't played.
That was like Sturridge and Akinbaye last year happened. I remembered.
Yeah. So it will throw these guys in. Now, the reason why I think it happens more in the first few weeks and then seems to settle is because, again, the game's a bit imperfect. We've had like 3 months off in the actual game. So it's almost like saying you haven't played this guy in 6 months. You didn't play him for the last 3 months of last season. You've not played him for the 3 months when it couldn't have played him because they didn't have any games. So they've got to throw them in early. So for the first 3 or 4 weeks, it will throw these guys in to keep them happy. And then you'll see the lineup settle. Does that make sense? Because it's given them their little go. Which
I'm nervous.
4 weeks.
Yeah, I am nervous about Bramble and Terry, but
no, you don't need to be.
We'll see. That's fine.
I don't think you need to be. Terry is better than Gallas. He's not. Desai is the safest pick, but Gallas will come in occasionally. I still think he's a good pick. Bramble is ahead of the other guys, and I think this is more the metric of what I've just said at the end there. It's the first few weeks. There's a few of these guys who haven't played. It's thrown them in. After it's got this out of their system, after the 3 or 4 weeks, those guys will play over 30 games. Come back to this at the end and we'll see whether they've played over 30 games, but I think you'll be alright. That was a very long-winded explanation, wasn't it?
That's great. I mean, your knowledge is great again. So cheers. Can I just mention as well, just a shout out while I remember to FPL Escapades because they're tuning in at like 2:30 in the morning. So cheers for doing that, guys.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I wouldn't be doing
that. I said I'd shout out.
No worries. Right. Where were we? We've done this game, haven't we? We've sorted this game.
Yeah.
It's all good. Terry will be back. We hope. I've got him. I
hope so. I'm starting him. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't panic on these guys. We saw it last season. The perfect proof. Anyone who played season 1 will tell you the first 3 or 4 weeks were really messy with the lineups, and then it went on a long run of about 20 games where hardly anyone changed. And I think we'll probably see the same sort of pattern. Right, Ipswich Leicester. This game was pretty much chaos. I think some people did CM Fantasies. A guy in the community who's doing a lot of sim work, and he said that this game should be sort of 1-1, 2-2 goals, whatever, hard to predict. And a lot of Leicester's games are like this. As you can see, they probably just favoured it. Ipswich had more of the ball. But in terms of the actual players, I don't think many people have got a lot of them. But Dennis Wise with the old assist from the set piece again.
Love that, to see that. Set piece, Dennis Wise, chip it in. Matt Elliott, strong header. You can just picture the goal, that one, for me. You just know this. Same as every goal last season. Matt Elliott and Jerry Taggart getting their heads to it.
Yeah. Recurring theme, I would expect. 20 for corners for Dennis Wise. Yeah, it's a bit of a lottery each time, but he's always going to have a good shout to get an assist off of some random set play. And Muzzy, is it getting man of the match and assist? He's usually a pretty good player. Had a pretty poor season 1, but there's no reason to say why he can't be the main guy this time. Yeah, as I say, it doesn't really go on form in this game. He's a good player. He just got a bit unlucky last time. So could be one to look out for. And then Scowcroft up top does his thing again.
Yeah, Scowcroft's another great pick from Leicester. I mean, I think for me, Scowcroft is the player to go to for Leicester, despite Muzzy isn't getting man of the match and a great performance.
Yeah, Izzet's got pens, so he could get really lucky on that as well. But I like them both, to be honest. I'm not sure what their fixtures are like, but they're ones to bear in mind, I think.
Yeah, let's have a quick look. Where you click on.
And Hariderson, if you guys have Hariderson, I wouldn't worry too much. As you can see here, he's still got 3 key headers, key tackle. So he was unlucky to get a 7. He did get a yellow card, which might have taken him down a notch. So he might have been on an 8, which I think would have put him in the frame for bonus. So without that card, he still looks like he's at it, basically.
Yeah. I mean, Leicester's fixtures: Tottenham at home, Liverpool away, Bolton away, Newcastle at home, then Man U away. It's mixed, but I don't particularly like it for Leicester. Tottenham at home next is okay, but Liverpool away is going to be tough for them to score, so not too keen on that.
Definitely. And obviously they didn't have Bramble, but I expect he'll come straight back in. Liverpool and Leeds, 1-1. Leeds scoring with their only shot on target in the entire game, and that of course was Ian Hart's penalty in the 79th minute, so not a single shot from open play.
Everyone was pretty nervous about that penalty as well, weren't they?
Yeah, that would have been ridiculous if he missed that as well. This is largely the reason why I touched on it in another video, that Leeds under this new manager, when they play away to the big sides, so obviously Liverpool count as one of those, they don't really show any ambition. Men behind the ball, defensive and offside trap, they literally do not try to attack in the game. Which means that, their attacking assets are obviously not going to be great away from home in the big games. Not many are, so that's not really too much of a problem. But I think it does improve their defence. So the likes of Ian Hart, as we saw there, has got more chance of a clean sheet away, whereas last season, Leeds in away games, clean sheets was a write-off. Maybe not so this season, which is pretty good. And Liverpool, obviously, they do the normal thing. They seem to grind out results-ish and then spread the points around, usually their centre-backs. Biscan winning 7 headers, 3 key. He's got that 20 jumping stat, which means he's one of the rare midfielders who can get a lot of key headers and therefore get decent bonus. He actually had 4 shots, 3 on target as well, so unlucky not to score. Looking pretty good value at 5.5, I reckon. Really, really good value. I mean, Biscan is a great midfielder for that price, definitely. I mean, the good thing is as well, he's likely to play if the defender misses out, then Biscan can easily go back in defence as well. So Covers
good
a lot
to
of
get good. Yeah, it does. Good average rating, so I like him.
Yeah, he's not nailed at all, but he's definitely a decent pick. And Hippier and Huncho did their thing. People saying, Risa nailed down a spot. Yeah, I mean, again, Risa, he is the first choice left back. I'm just going to skip ahead quickly and show you. They don't really have many others in the squad. They've got Vignal.
Not good.
Traoré. But they're not really. Carragher's obviously the main threat, but he doesn't like the left side particularly. So he usually plays either right back or centre back. He's a bit of jack of all trades. So again, with Risa, I would put him at 30 games probably. Again.
How many games do you expect Carragher to play? Is he just like the next man for all positions to come in?
I think it's just injuries. I mean, Huncho and Hippier get injured a lot, right? As they seem to. Hegum gets rotated quite a bit as well, annoyingly, because he's really good. So he'll probably end up racking like 20 games up or something, Carragher, but it'll depend on injuries. I don't think he'll replace any of them guys. He can do, but it's rare.
Yeah.
Sure. Not much else to say there. Manchester United obviously battered Everton 60-40. 9 shots on target. I found this funny actually. 9 shots on target, 3 went in, so 6 saves, but Paul Gerrard only got 6. So I think this is where the old, we've got this issue with the saves thing. I don't think he actually made 6 saves. I think the shots were probably blocked because it doesn't actually tell us that that he made the saves. His stats don't seem to scream that he's made the saves, but it's just part and parcel of what we're working with.
With this one, do you think Man U took the foot off the gas a bit because they started really, really well?
Yeah,
I mean, or do you think Everton went more defensive? How do you reckon?
Yeah, so that's very much probably what happened. As soon as they score and they go up, they can change how they set up, so they can take it easy. And if you look through the commentary, I haven't looked through it, but I'm sure at some point it will say that they've reverted to a different style or they've taken the foot off the gas is even an expression I think that they put.
Yeah, that's what they say. I mean, 2-0 up and then just ease it.
Yeah,
basically.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. And obviously any of these guys could have done really well. The tactical substitution of Ronnie Johnson was funny. Not injured for once, because I think he was the most injured player last season. So when I saw that, I thought, well, he must be injured. But he actually didn't. I think it's because after 22 minutes, he only had 5 passes, and you can see he had nothing else going on. So when I said that performance isn't related to whether they play or not, within a game it is. And you'll see in a game, if a player's getting a 5 or a low rating, they will get subbed off, or they're not doing well, they will hook them. So I think with Ronnie Johnson, he probably didn't get a chance to pass because the ball was up front the entire time and they were pressing the team. But the game's like, nah, this guy's rubbish. Get him off. Hooked him straight away for Phil Neville. So I imagine Gary Neville, because Phil Neville definitely prefers the right side. So
Phil Neville on right back.
And Gary Neville went to centre back.
Pep Talk saying GX was quite involved.
Yeah,
with the Everton.
I think he's probably their best pick, to be honest. He was pretty well involved. He had a few shots, ended up with a 5. I think he's only 5 million. Yeah, I'd expect him to do fairly well for Everton. I mean, he'll be value at 5 million. I won't say rush and get him in your squads, but I think he'll be decent value. And because he plays every position,
then he's going to play as well. Yeah,
you've always got a chance of him playing, and sometimes out of position. Van Nistelrooy killing it for the headers. I mean, this is his thing, isn't it? And why he gets bonus. You could probably take off these 2 goals and he'd probably still have a 9 or a 10 there. That's just why he's so valuable, I think.
Yeah, great. I mean, definitely a captain. Do you think you're definitely the best captain choice for Game Week 2, despite being away to Charlton?
Ooh, I don't know. I'd probably go for Shearer if I had the choice.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't own Shearer, and that's nerve-wracking this week, so I'm hoping Dyer turns up.
Gary Smith saying Luke needs a mic. I've got a mic. Is it no good?
I can hear you fine, but...
Okay. Heskey saying he's big dunk ahead of Rosinsky. I think he is, Heskebo, slightly, but they are rotatable players, like I just talked about. They're all so close in ability, so I wouldn't want to trust any of them. Kevin Campbell is arguably the best if he actually gets the games, but there's no way to tell who will actually get them. Ferguson's got the highest reputation, so he probably gets to start most of the time. He's actually got 20 for injury proneness, so I wouldn't recommend getting him anyway because he'll be out of the team straight away.
Yet again, I wouldn't touch Everton with a barge pole.
No, probably not.
Bad.
This game was pretty funny, actually. This is basically classic Arsenal from season 1. They actually played better. They had 9 shots on target. They had 57% possession away from home. It's tricky to do all of that. And yet they still lost 3-0.
Great to see that.
Yeah. And this is what makes it even funnier, actually. This is the frustrations with CM when you're playing it with a super keeper. Bradley Jones got a 9. Just look at his stats. They're worse than Jalal's. They're worse than Tota and Jalal. He's got 6 for handling.
Amazing. It's great to see.
This just shows you the lottery that is in place. Like, he has literally won the lottery, this guy. I mean, there is no way this guy should have put in this performance. He's absolute dog shit.
He stood there and they just hit the shots at him, basically. He didn't have to make a save. It just bounced off him, I'm guessing. Yeah.
And then Richard Wright got a 5. Obviously conceded 3 goals out of 5. And he's obviously got those stats. So
drop him.
Doesn't always work on the stats. You can get unlucky.
Get Maniger in after that.
Yeah. Festa was actually injured. The game match report didn't say it wasn't a tactical one. We'll get to that in a minute. And they brought on Bernhardt. As you can see, his stats aren't that bad. They're all round pretty good. And
strange substitution. Gordon left back.
Yeah. So Whelan ended up in midfield. But
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So from the 19th minute, although Whelan did score and play pretty well, he went into midfield. So he went up here, the Brazilian, and then Whelan would have gone here, and then Johnston would have gone here, and then Gordon would have gone here, almost certainly, and reverted to type. But a lot of Middlesbrough players are flexible, so it doesn't really affect them. A lot of their substitutions, they can do all sorts of stuff. And Zepeda with the 9 and goal. He seems to be pretty popular.
Yeah, I was going to say, Zepeda's been talked about quite a lot. He seems to be... Well, he started off very well, but he seems to be very popular as a player that could do well, and people are looking at him a lot more after this as well. So, do you think he's a man to get?
I think he's good. I bigged him up at the beginning of the season. I think he's a pretty good player. I probably prefer him slightly to Johnston. I prefer the person who's playing on that right wing in McLaren's setup, because they sometimes go up front. So yeah, Johnston showed you what's possible on that wing, and he seems to be nailed. So out of the 2, I'd pick him. Yeah.
Steve Bird saying, where did they get Bernhardt from? But I think he's there from the start, isn't he? Yeah,
Starts there.
yeah.
He was obviously
Nice.
dog shit in real life, because I don't remember him.
I don't remember.
Crossley was suspended, Carl, so I think he's back for this week.
We'll have a look at that. I mean, we go through all the teams one by one to check injuries and other bits and pieces, so that's coming.
Yeah. And on the Omri thing, again, I know this happens a lot last season, but when you see this, and we touched on this before, when you see a formation where there's one person up front, if there's a red card in the game or the performance is just really bad, the team is doing rubbish, it will nearly always be the very front man that is hooked. We saw it with Dean Sturridge. Happens a few times. There's a red card and he gets hooked in like the 22nd minute. So it wasn't necessarily linked to Henry's performance, which wasn't particularly good, but it's the whole hook your star player, hook the front man, you're losing 3-0, it's not working, let's try something different, which CM seems to have, and that's what happened here. Right, Millwall Man City.
Great game.
Yeah.
Stephen Reid, I mean, the highlight of the week, really, 4.5 defender.
Yeah.
Starting over Kinnett and then getting, was it 13 points, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in highest. No, I think Elliot was the highest score. Second highest score.
Elliot got 14. Yeah, Reid got 13. Yeah.
I mean, if you look, everyone knows who plays this game that this guy is an absolute demon, and you look at his stats; they're fantastic. Plays everywhere, but the game doesn't seem to favour him. So I would be very hesitant on bringing him in because your man Kinnett generally plays sort of 37 games a season.
Yeah, I know. I expect Kinnett to start. Surely he'll be starting next game. So.
Yeah, because it's not linked. I mean, this will be a good example, actually. If you see the next game that Stephen Reid's not in the team and Kinnett's back at left wing, then that tells you everything you need to know about performance and ability and everything like that. It will just revert to type, and that's what I would expect would happen. Samba, obviously don't need to go into him. He's an absolute legend. If he plays, it's similar to Makoku. He can do very, very well. Harris was injured, so that's probably why he got his spot.
Teachmate asking if I have a picture of Samba in my bedroom, but... I have done for 20 years. He's that good. So.
Nethercott, who I didn't realise, I got a lesson on him, played for Spurs. I didn't even realise that, and he was dreadful apparently. He's a 4 million defender, isn't he? So he's starting at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how long that'll continue, but he's playing at the moment. So
yeah, another 4 million defender, Alf-Inge Haaland as well, came on and did quite well.
Yeah,
He's probably a squad player again, but if there is injuries, Haaland is a player that could start for Man City, so that's one to watch.
And it's interesting that Weaver got the shout because Nash and Weaver, either of them can play.
I think I prefer Nash, to be honest, in the game.
Nash is a better keeper in the game. Yeah, I prefer him as well. He's good. So I wouldn't rush in Weaver just because I think that Nash could, again, they're close, so it could be. I think Leicester do it, don't they, with Flowers and who's the other guy? I've totally forgotten who it is now.
Ian Walker.
Yeah, they rotate quite often throughout the season, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happened here. Paul
I mean, Man City are generally a team that will concede and score quite a bit anyway. I should imagine. So,
yeah,
I wouldn't say Man City keeper's the best choice for a 4.5 keeper.
No.
Regardless if Weaver does start every game.
True. Kevin Horlock's 4.5 defender, and to be honest, he will play in this position nearly all the time, so he will pretty much be OOP for most of the season. So he is one to consider because obviously the further forward, the more chance you've got of scoring goals. Now, on the flip side, he's probably, although he did play an 8, it's probably because he scored a goal. In terms of bonus for headers and stuff like that, which defenders get, it might actually be worse. So you're probably going to rely on the attacking returns for him to be worth it, I would say, which probably won't be getting too many. And that's about it, really, isn't it? Anything else to say?
Svensson didn't do too great. I know a few people went for Svensson.
No, had a shot, a couple of key tackles, 3 key passes. I mean, it's not that bad. He does do really well for City most of the time on the right wing, and hence why he's 7 million. So, yeah, I mean, it's one game.
Yeah, one game. Nothing to worry about.
Newcastle, Charlton. Classic CM.
Great to see. Who was in charge of this game? Who was the ref? Is it strict ref?
Roy Pearson.
Oh, new name. Yeah. Watch out for Roy.
Charlton 1 shot on target. I'm surprised that didn't go in. Yeah, I mean, Shearer actually was fairly lacklustre in this game. He obviously got the 2 penalties, so those are 2 of his shots on target. So he only actually had 1 shot on target in the match in a game where they were 10 or 11 men. But To be honest, the red card does often kill the game. They just set up extremely defensive from that moment, and then it's just like a walk in the park. Newcastle take the foot off the gas and everything, so it can actually kill the game for both the teams, which is annoying.
Yeah.
You see they've dominated the ball here, even though Newcastle are that long ball team. So this will probably be one of the rare examples we'll see where they have more possession, but that's more to do with how they all got 2 people sent off, I would say, than anything else. Stephen Hughes, after his killer season in the Championship.
He's a demon on this sim. After last season, then started the season like this as well. I think I made the wrong decision going for Kieran Dyer over Stephen Hughes by the looks of it.
I would say so. Stephen Hughes is a great player. He does really well in most sims. He's priced... I mean, I was quite nervous about when we were pricing him quite high, because I thought most people won't know who the hell he is and why you pricing him so high. But to be honest, he probably could have been higher. He does do fantastic quite often. So yeah, I wouldn't turn my nose up at him.
Do you think it's better to have a Newcastle central midfielder then, rather than the winger on this formation? I mean,
because they play with long ball, I'm not really too familiar with how that works, because no one plays it, so it's not something I've particularly looked at or studied. With direct style, usually the centre midfielders are better, and with every other style, like mixed and short, usually it's the wide players that do pretty good. So direct last season, you had McPhail and Bowyer and people like that in the centre for Leeds who did pretty good compared to the wingers most of the time. So
I'm thinking that if they play that kind of style, then it's got to be the central midfielders that probably do better.
Yeah, I mean, long ball's not direct style, that's what people use, but ultimately they'll be kicking the ball up and there'll be bounce backs, and I would have thought...
Yeah, and then shots from distance, like edge of the box kind of shots.
Yeah, and he's got good long shots. He's got 18, so similar to Veron, I think he's got like 19 or something. So yeah, you probably get a few pingers. I think his goal was an absolute launch, wasn't it?
25-yard, I think. Yeah.
Stephen Hughes.
Oh, that was it, wasn't it? Yeah.
Long range effort. So yeah.
Interesting. Stephen Hughes, I think, is going to be popular, and especially with their fixture this week. If people have already put off by a midfielder, then Stephen Hughes, I think, could be quite popular.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And yeah, at some point, we're going to get into now, they've got a 3-match ban here, Swartzer and Kylie.
Oh, lovely. Third keeper coming up.
We're going to see who's going to put in goal now. Let's move on. Tottenham and Blackburn, we expected goals in this one. We got it. There wasn't actually a massive amount of shots, but it was a very even tie, really. Classic Spurs, really. Goals can't defend. Chris Perry with a 9 stood out. I mean, he's a great defender in the game in terms of his attributes. I know the marking, positioning, teamwork, stamina. He's got lots of stuff to like, and can get pretty high average rating. He's another one. I think he's got 20 injury proneness as well.
Haven't they all Tottenham defenders got that as well? Haven't they? High injury proneness.
They've got fairly high, but Perry's is the highest. He didn't actually get that injured last season, so he got away with it. He got 1 stub toe.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. But he smashed it for the key contributor. I mean, I wouldn't advise anyone to bring in a Spurs defender, but you can get bonus basically. And Poyet and Davies in centre midfield, they did their thing. Poyet was obviously great last season, and Davies, did it come from a set piece? This, I know he's on set pieces. I think it might have.
Oh, I can't remember actually. Davies goal.
No, it just squared it. Okay. For Wood.
Oh, of course, yeah. Martin Wood,
Motherwell
legend. She's doing all right, thanks. Yeah, cheers, Luke. Yeah,
great.
I did speak to her today. Nice.
Excellent news. And yeah, David Dunn and Duff. I think they're going to have a bit of revival this season. Duff obviously went off on a 64th, but 2 shots, 1 on target. That's not too bad. Assist and a goal for Dunn. Yeah, expect them to be more offensive this season, and those two can have a revival. I think they're not bad. I do like Marcus Bent as well, but this is the annoying thing. Occasionally you just get early subs, and sometimes they play one up top.
Yeah, I was considering Matt Jansen for a lot of pre-season instead of going for Shearer. I was thinking Jansen. I went a different way in the end, but Jansen with those players behind him can do well.
Yeah, I expect top 6 for Blackburn.
Yeah, again. I would. But they blanked this week, so not this week to bring him in.
And Vesterveld, he just seems to be the only keeper who can actually do fairly well for average rating. They only had 3 shots on target. 2 of them went in, and he still gets an 8 because he got 7 key tackles.
So he's using his feet.
Yeah, it's not really known what that really means for keepers, if it's rushing out and tackling them or what. But he seems to do well in that area, and therefore can get you bonus even in games where he doesn't do much, apparently.
Yeah, FPL Escapade's asking any chance that Ziga starts for Spurs. He's asking for me, but
I mean, there is a chance. He's a rotatable player, so
close to fortune. This fixture was just a nice fixture, Blackburn at home, and I just thought I'll go for it. It's a bit different. I regret it now. I'm probably gonna transfer him out. Yeah.
I mean, the next week Ziga could play is the thing. Unfortunately,
I know. Yeah.
But it's going to be like that most of the season. Those two will rotate all the season, I think. I think Fortune is slightly ahead because he's got a higher rep. He's played for South Africa, Man United. You know, who the hell's Ziga? Played for Germany, but who cares?
Won the World Cup for Germany. But
doesn't matter. Get rid of him. Watford and Sunderland. Watford, I know you're going to slag Petkoff off, but look at this.
Let's see his stats. Let's see his stats.
6 on target, 53%. They were pretty unlucky here, to be fair.
Will he keep being unlucky? Is that going to be an excuse all season?
2 shots. They're both off target. 3 key passes, more than anyone else in the game. Still got a 7, which is rare for midfielders to do anything, especially when they don't get a return. So not too bad. I'm not worried.
Watford got relegated, but they were unlucky. Like they scored 20 goals this season, but they were unlucky. Okay.
Gift and Noel Williams coming on the 52nd minute. 3 shots, 3 on target, 8. He could have made himself a hero.
Jeff Pitcher coming on as well. I missed that sub.
Jeff Pitcher. What a lad. Sam Swannell. I mean, look at that talent that they're starting. He's an attacking midfield centre that they're starting in the middle. With those stats, he's got 20 for positioning, the most important stat for a centre-back. Just rocked into AMC.
He's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Neil Ardley, the set-piece man. I know Arca actually took... I think the assist came from an Arca set-piece. As you can see, Arca's got 17 for set-pieces, so he does occasionally take them because they're very close. But yeah, what else is there to say about Sunderland? Tome...
Yeah, Tome. Tome was the one I should have gone for instead of Ziga, to be honest. Which is a shame. Missed out on a few points there.
Arca, make people put off of him because he's a midfielder. Just look at those stats. Coming along so nicely.
Brilliant. Good. Get him in. Or don't get him in, I'll just enjoy his return, so that's fine.
And the forgotten man Phillips turns up again. I'm hoping for another 30-goal season from him.
Could happen, easily.
Right. I think that's all the teams. I'm just going to show you the fixtures, guys. So as you can see here, the games were on the 17th in-game, and the next set of fixtures with the blanks are in midweek. So 3 days later, Man United.
It's quite a quick turnaround, isn't it? I mean, Man U shouldn't be that unfit, but Charlton, I'm wondering what their fitness is like. Interesting.
Let's have a look. So let's go to each team then. So you have to bear in mind all these teams, and these Arsenal blank, don't they? Have I got that right, or have I got that wrong?
Yeah, Arsenal blank. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So we don't really need to care too much about.
They are playing Champions League on the Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. So the same time as Gameweek 2 is going on. Right. Arsenal, Liverpool in the Champions League playing at the same time, and I think we are going to have goal updates as well from Arsenal and Liverpool game in the Champions League.
Nice.
So we'll know if they'll be blanking Gameweek 5. I mean, Arsenal. That fixture is going to be rearranged, but Liverpool could still have a double Gameweek 5. Sorry,
I've got to turn my mic up. People are saying my mic is on max volume. I think maybe I just need to shout, or Andy, turn yours down.
Oh, okay. Maybe I can speak a bit quieter.
I'll try and shout. Kids are next door, but fuck them.
I'll go a bit quieter.
So yeah, there's not much point spending any time on Arsenal because they're not playing this week. As you can see, everyone's pretty much fit, and their condition will be totally different by the time they go to play. So we can move on.
Could you look at future transfers as well? If it comes up with any bids or anything, yeah, that's fine.
Zip. Andy is much louder than Luke.
Let me turn it down. Hang on.
I've just turned my mic up. Oh, I've lost your picture. You still there, Andy?
Still there, yeah.
Okay, am I louder now? Yeah, I think they're saying I'm louder. That's good. Luke's got a BlackBerry. Come on, Gary.
Hopefully I'm a bit quieter, but...
I think it was me. I turned my mic down because my PC's about to blow up, so the fan is so loud, so I don't want that noise to come over the mic, but it's had a knock-on effect, obviously. Anyway, Aston Villa, Alpi. I think he got injured during the match, didn't he? He did. So he's out for a week. I don't think many people will have him, but he's one of their better centre-backs. So that'll obviously have a knock-on effect, I would have thought. Could move Barry into the centre.
Yeah, Hitzelberger, was he?
I suppose he could, but there's actually...
The Lord? Could the Lord come back in?
Maybe. I mean,
if Barry goes centre.
He's listed for loan. Does anyone want a 33-year-old has-been? He's got 20 for corners, though.
Come on. Hopefully Staunton comes back in, grabs a goal.
Do you know what? I think might happen, actually, is they might play Danny Mills at centre-back because Stephen Carr they've signed recently and they will probably want to play him. So they could move Mills in at centre-back. That could happen.
Okay.
Or Alan Wright could go left-back and Barry centre-back. That's another option.
So don't buy Staunton.
No. Don't buy Staunton. I'm not even sure he's in the game, actually. He might be.
Any future transfers?
Ooh. No. I don't think anyone's got any.
Okay.
Blackburn, they play?
Blackburn blank as well, unfortunately.
Right.
No game at all for them.
Okay. So Hignett's a few days and no one else really cares about any of these guys, do they? Let's move on. Ooh. Staunton waiting for his loan deal at Butlin, says Pep Talk. He'll get lost in a bottle of blue WKD there. We'll never see him again. Bolton, they also blank? Right?
They do, yeah. Yeah, they blank as well.
Okay, Southall's out for a month. Franderson is out for 2 weeks. Gardner, who's probably the main interest there, he's a few days, so he could be back for their next game. He's at 44%, however, so he could be back with low condition for the next game.
Okay, probably not a time for Gardner then.
No.
I mean, ideally, I'm looking to move Ziga down to a cheaper defender because I want to do Dyer to Selakovic for game week 3. So whether I wait a week and do 2 transfers in game week 3, but yeah, Gardner's a good pick when he comes back fit, if it ever happens.
Yeah, and doesn't get injured again. This chap, Rambo, who Bolton often sign, I see it a lot, is coming to them in November. So 3 months down the line. Because of his reputation, and I mean they haven't really got that many options, he'll probably end up going up front. The thing is, I think it'll probably be for Gota rather than for Wallace. They seem to love Wallace, but it's one to keep an eye on and obviously one not to worry about for another 3 months. Charlton, I don't know who this guy even is. Okay, he's a keeper. He's injured. So.
Oh, hello. John Turner might be the one then that is going to be playing in a few weeks.
Well, I think it's going to be this guy, unbelievably. And the main reason is he was signed, and we all know that usually means they like him and a buff in reputation.
Mm-hmm.
So, despite him being god awful, I mean, he is only 17 to be fair. He's not.
Given some slack. I mean, he's third choice keeper.
Yeah.
Never expected to play, did he?
No, but I mean they have got a lot of keepers, so there is no way to know for sure. I mean they've got this lad who's just as terrible. This guy's a little bit better, so it could be him, I suppose. Roberts is requested a transfer.
It should be Roberts, really, shouldn't it? Ben Roberts is the more established guy.
He played last season, so there's a chance. But because he wants first team and he's transfer listed, I'm not sure that they'll play him when they transfer list people. It's rare that they do. So I'd go for this guy just simply because he was signed. But either way, they're all terrible. So
yeah, I mean I don't think we're going to price the keeper up until they've played a game. So we're going to probably price after the game they come in. So they're going to be start. I don't think it's until game week 4 the keepers are suspended because it's a 2-week thing. Just check that. So
Dean
we'll know game.
It starts on the 31st for 3 games.
Yeah.
So if we go here,
it's game week 4, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll miss Watford, Everton, Derby. Is that right?
That's quite good fixtures, really.
So
yeah. So whoever plays that first game will probably price up the keeper then.
After it, yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Because otherwise we end up with loads of people in there. The thing is, they could quite easily play one, then play another as well.
Okay, yeah,
because
sure.
they're all close in ability and reputation again. So don't think you've got a cheap route in there. I'm assuming they'll be 4 million.
Yeah, I mean that applies to all players as well. So if they do start a game, then we'll price them up.
Yeah, aside from sort of star signings that we think will play, obviously. Yeah. Cool. Everything else was good, wasn't it? Yes.
Charlton against Man U, so they'll go defensive and probably sit back and unlikely to score.
No, when they're at home, Charlton won't be defensive. No one plays defensive at home. They might not be attacking. They might be normal. I can't remember, but yeah, I think against Man United they might be normal. Okay. So it'll still be fairly open as a result. Chelsea.
Brilliant.
Johnson's unhappy now as well. He wants a contract. See, this is the squad harmony thing again. There's so many people unhappy, and you see this as you go on. It just becomes a nightmare and unmanageable. The game's not very good at managing its squad harmony at all, and transfers. So it just ends up with a lot of unhappy squads, which is annoying. In terms of condition, everyone's good. I mean, remember these guys have got an extra day, so they'll all be at 100%, unless they get injured in training today.
That's true as well. Yeah, because it's the Tuesday. All these teams play Wednesday, so there could be injuries.
You'd have to be.
But we wouldn't know.
Exactly, we wouldn't know. You'd get incredibly unlucky if that's the case. Sorry. Anyone want to see anything else from Chelsea? I'm just looking in the chat before we move on.
Tyler, what are you saying about the 4th of September games clash with internationals?
Oh, they might be moved then, as in the date or something.
Not sure.
He's saying, yeah, they'll move. All of the 4th of September ones will move. But I imagine he's saying they're going to move into the same week. They'll just be on a different day. I don't know. Or they've already been moved.
Right, fine. Okay.
Right. Chelsea are getting Jurkanovic, who's 34 years old. And he's coming in.
Might go on to manage Fulham.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? And this is another example of the transfer system in the game being poor and based off of reputation, because he's got a high reputation, and generally old players have high reputation because they've had longer to build it. It doesn't really know what to do in terms of signing, and it will sign a guy with high reputation despite him not really being a person they really want to sign. And you end up with an unhappy squad, because then he might play a few games because he's brand new, and then he won't play again for months, and then he gets pissed off, which you can imagine.
When is he coming in? Next summer?
1st to the 9th.
Oh, 1st to the 9th, right.
Yeah, a few weeks.
So Lampard could be benched.
Terry is at 100% for that bench, says XTS. I'll just show you, Terry. I mean, look at this guy.
Got to start.
Gallas is great as well. Desai is definitely the safer pick. They're both great options, though. That is my tip. Don't sell Terry.
Thank you. I'll take that on board. And they're missing a player as well from that list of players there from Chelsea, aren't they?
Oh, they are indeed. Yeah, someone's moved from Chelsea.
To this team.
In fact, we may as well go straight to it. I think most people worked it out. Here he is, the saviour of Derby.
Not too bad. He's all right.
2.5 million. Given he's going to have a decent reputation, and Derby basically don't have many centre midfielders that are any good, he's pretty much nailed to play. Is he 5 million? I imagine he's 5 million.
Yeah, I think he's 5.
So yeah, I imagine he'll come in alongside Valakari and Burley, because usually that third centre midfielder, which could be Powell, who sometimes goes wing back, but they also play. Where's the other guy they play? There's obviously sometimes Mokoku comes
Franson.
in. Yeah, sometimes him. It's Murray, isn't it? More often as well. So comes in as well.
Yeah.
Just dreadful. So he'll come straight in, I would have thought.
Do you think Morris is a good pick?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's one of these ones where his current ability will be pretty high because it's going to take a sum of all of these stats, but really he's not particularly good in any area. I mean, if there's an area to do this in, it is centre midfield, because you want a jack of all trades, but Yeah, I mean, as a fantasy asset, he might be value at 5 million because now he plays, but
yeah, I mean, it probably does improve Derby slightly as a team. I think very slightly.
Yeah,
if they're playing Morris and Valakari in there.
Agreed there. This guy's 4 million and started. Don't know how long that will continue, but one to consider. Pirlo saying pushes Tonton further down the packing order. Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, that is a shame. Yeah,
you are probably right. I mean, his attributes are getting there.
Hopefully, he'll be called up to the international squad soon for Sweden normally, isn't it?
Yeah, it can go either.
Okay.
Yeah, can go either. Everton, no one cares, do they? Has anyone got an Everton player?
I haven't seen one. People have mentioned they got GX in the dead team, but
Adam France says, "Get off this shite team." Which one, Derby or Everton?
I mean, to be fair as well, you could have priced Everton defenders at 4.5. The centre backs are 5 million, and it's just like,
yeah, could have done. The thing is, Stubbs is good for bonus, and Everton can do well for clean sheets in some sims. It's just,
but just to make Everton an option though, because I don't think anyone's got any. I mean, I was thinking, I might go to an Everton defender if they're cheap enough, but
this is the one you want if you want any, because he can take penalties, and he can even play at wing back sometimes. But I'm not going to try and sell you an Everton defender. I
don't think Unsworth's that nailed though, is he? He can miss out.
Yeah, he wasn't particularly last season, but sim data shows that he plays roughly 30 games, so fairly nailed.
Fine.
Gary Smith said I had Stubbs last season. I had Stubbs last season as well at one point.
Any signings for Everton? Anyone on the horizon? Any bids made?
No.
Okay. Cheers, Everton. Try and get 17th again. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I wish Fulham were here. That'd be so much more fun.
Ipswich then. Serini still unhappy adjusting. That was the normal. Oh, Andy Marshall's interested. Crystal Palace are after him. He's a decent keeper actually, and Serini sometimes moves, so that would be a blow to lose him, because if they then end up losing Serini, then pretty screwed. Tariko is still out for a few days with his bruised head. That bruise will not go away. He's put so much Savlon on it, and it's just
a massive bruise around his cheek.
But he started the last one, so you would have thought he probably will play again if you've got him, so I wouldn't particularly worry. Titus Bramble, Starman,
killer, absolute killer. But I mean, the good thing is they didn't keep a clean sheet. Leicester scored, so I mean, Heriderson got a 0, so in the end, it's not too bad.
No loss, was it? I mean, they've got a lot of defenders here. That's the only thing I'll say, is they have got a lot of defenders and wing backs that can play all over. And there's the squad harmony thing, so you're going to see the occasional dropout, but they'll all end up playing over 30, the main men. You're going to see even Heriderson might drop out occasionally. I think he may have dropped once or possibly twice last season, right near the beginning.
Maybe a couple of times.
Which was also right at the beginning again, so it kind of shows you. And after that, he was pretty much nailed.
I mean, the fixtures as well: Derby away, Villa at home, Leeds at home, Millwall away, Sunderland at home, City away. It's a good run. You want Bramble to start playing, don't you?
He's a good price.
Yeah. Come on. Hopefully.
There are some injuries, guys. Don't worry. We'll get to them.
There wasn't any future transfers for Ipswich at all? Just double checking.
I think so. No. Leeds are as good as one could be, I think. And they're obviously home to Millwall. Which on paper,
I haven't got any Leeds assets. I'm worried.
Yeah,
because this could be a 5-0 for 6-0. Yeah,
it could be. Yeah, Millwall are a reputation 13 team, so they're still low. They're not the lowest, so there is obviously that chance that they could rotate. However, it's obviously less than if they were 12 or 11. So, yeah, players could do very well.
Could you say Leeds captaincy's choice this week, Viduka or Ian Hart if you owned?
I'd be tempted by Hart. I mean, you've got Shearer at home is the thing, but as an outside, I'd be tempted by Hart maybe. I mean, the clean sheet looks pretty much nailed. I don't think Millwall will attack particularly. Leeds dominant at home. Wing back role, penalties.
Pen in the clean sheet and an assist for a set piece or something.
Yeah, could easily be. Obviously Viduka as well. I mean, that 5's kind of ruined it for him, hasn't it? But before that, the guy was on an absolute tear. So,
but there was a rep. Could be rep though. That's the problem as well.
Could be. I mean, if you look, Viduka last season played 33 out of 38 games. Now, injuries accounted for a few of those. So how many did he actually miss out? I can think of one he definitely missed out, which was right near the beginning, near a Europa League game.
I can't remember it. No, I don't remember.
What did they call it back then? UEFA League?
Yeah, UEFA Cup.
Yeah. But otherwise, he was pretty nailed.
Perlo's beard say could be a game for Jakob Burns. I doubt it, but maybe.
No, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that one. I think he just wanted to slip that in, didn't
he? Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Transfers. None. Surprise.
No Riquelme yet. Okay.
No. That'd be great if that happens.
But this is the sim where everyone goes to Scotland or abroad. So.
Yes, Celtic are the only team that are buying him, apparently. Leicester, again, there's nothing to write home about here. We already talked about them in the review, really. Everyone's good in terms of condition. Their lineup's fairly nailed on. You pretty much know who's going to play most weeks with them. There's a little bit of rotation in the right back, right wing area. Sometimes up front if Akinbaye gets a go, but yet to materialise. That's about it. Another shite side, says Adam. Cheers, Adam. We should get you on here. We'll just go shite next. Liverpool, they blank or have I made that up?
Yeah, they got Champions League game on Wednesday.
So we won't touch on it too much. But Owen's a few days, 86% strained knee ligament. So what's the betting? They throw him into the game and he gets injured again.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah, everyone else is okay.
Any transfers?
Just your famous two next year.
Just the two I got wrong, yeah, those two.
Dog shit.
They had a good under-17s World Cup last year, so don't knock them.
Let's do the transfers first. Nothing for Man City. Right.
There is big news here, isn't there? There's quite a few have gone with him as well.
Yeah, annoyingly, because he's a great pick. Tiato rips the old hammy. He's out for a month.
That is a sell.
That is a hard sell. Unfortunately. But what is he, 7.5?
It's higher than that, isn't he?
No, I think
he was 8.
I think he's 7.5.
Okay.
So yeah, you've got a lot of the 7 million midfielders which are appealing, which you could go to, I think.
Depends if you want short term or long term, I guess. I mean, people like Stephen Hughes in the short term if you can afford him. Or hold and wait for
Zapida, obviously.
Yeah, Zapida.
Get Petkov in while you still can.
Avoid Petkov, but you've got Arca there.
Hammy and Tiatas. Cole, I don't know how you do it, mate. Don't know how you do
it. Brilliant, Cole. Love it. Keep it up, please. Yeah.
Yields. Paul One-Shot. He's good. Don't knock him. Is he 7.5? I still think he's a good
7.5, yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say this phrase and then you're going to say this guy's name. Andy, would you like to?
Paul Dickoff.
Let's move on.
Middle name, Mai.
Future transfers for Man United. Sod all. They're happy with Roque Jr.
But is someone...
Is what?
Someone wanted, though?
I don't know. We'll have to have a look. It could be hidden. Emerson, 2 weeks. Sprained ankle. Roy Keane, a few days, 90%, so he could feature. And yes, a lot of people have guessed it. He is wanted by Juventus.
Another star player to go out of the game. What would happen then? I mean, obviously United would replace him with someone decent if Varane did.
You say that? I doubt they would. I doubt they would.
Or just play Jordic there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they'd have. I mean, they've got loads of money now, and they don't particularly buy anyone. They could do. Yeah, I'll be gutted if he does go. The thing is, I've seen him go in season 2 a lot. It does happen a lot. And this is obviously the first stages. It doesn't mean it's definitely happening.
Is Juventus' reputation higher then than Man U?
I think Man United is 20 anyway, so Juventus will be the same. It won't be about that. It will just, the bid's high enough and they offer enough money. There's always a chance he could go.
What's he on at the moment, contract? Because seems to be more money in Italy, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope he doesn't, but at the moment he's fine, and there's no bids that we know of that have gone in. It doesn't tell you unless you're the manager, or it comes up as they made the bid public, which it hasn't in the news. So you never know. It might just be interest, and that's that.
I mean, Lippi might have just been seen in Manchester or something. Marcelo Lippi hanging around.
Exactly. Yes, he's still Pep. He'll still play. It doesn't matter. I mean, he might not play. I don't know until we do it, but not related to this is what I'm saying. Yeah, if he does go, then Emerson's there, Scholes is there. Opens up a very cheap option, doesn't it? Beckham could even go to the centre, and then they could start playing Chadwick at the right, who's decent.
They have got different options there, and Chadwick can easily play. I mean, they'll still going to be favourites for the league, even if Varane leaves, don't they? So
that's it, comfortably. Right, let's move on. Middlesbrough, no future transfers.
Another big injury, yeah.
Sad news for the uncle. Was he the highest scoring defender last season? I think he might have been. Pretty sure he was.
He was more than... Yeah, he would have been.
I'm fairly sure he was the highest scoring defender.
Melchior and Hart weren't close, were they?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Chat will know anyway. They know this stuff. I think he was top. Rickard's out for 3 weeks still. So, still time for Whelan. Fester's out for 10 days with dun dun dun.
Yeah, it's happened. It started.
The gash leg. Reared its head. Imagine how bad your leg must be gashed to miss 10 days. It must be sliced in half.
I saw bone. I did see bone from Fester, so it is quite a serious one.
Uncle Fester and bone.
Yeah. I think it was Bastardess, wasn't it?
Bastard.
Went in hard, yeah.
Absolute bastard. But this now means that Gordon probably will play left back rather than left midfield, and then it will open up the left wing slot for Johnston because he played centre midfield before. So, yeah, I mean,
any chance Whelan comes back in midfield? So you think?
I don't think
he goes. No,
it could happen, but they've got
Marinelli.
Yeah, they've got Marinelli, they've got Somerville, they've got Greening, they've got enough midfielders where it shouldn't affect them.
Yeah,
they've even got Platts.
Shouldn't have sold Phil Stamp.
They knew that would come back to hurt him. Steve Finnan as well, who's actually really good when he plays, could come in. Generally, plays
just a horrible position, isn't he? Like defensive midfielder, right, left.
Yeah.
You want to have a centre in there, really.
Yeah, it's another thing this game does is like they sign decent players, but then the manager doesn't play that tactic, so they'll never get a look in. It's just stupid. The monster gash. Yeah. Yes.
What was the ownership of Fester actually? If anyone knows in the chat, because it's quite a big injury for a popular player.
I think it's fairly high. I would have thought it would be fairly high because he was the top scorer. I'm pretty sure he was the top scoring defender. 10 games he's out for. So if we look at 10 games, 10 days he's out for.
It's 3 game weeks, pretty much, near enough.
Yeah, but obviously he could go orange, couldn't he, and then feature. So you could say he might be orange for this Charlton game and then thrown in, but then obviously re-injured. We know how it works. Annoyingly.
Again, depends how strong your bench is. If you can bench him and feel okay with it, then fine. But
yeah, I say it's risky in the first few weeks because of what I said at the beginning, where they'll just throw in for squad harmony. Some of these guys haven't played for 6 months, so I think you want to really address transfers early on. Yeah, you don't want to go in weak at all in the first few weeks. Rotation's more rife then, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Future transfers from Millwall, none. We haven't done Millwall, have we? No, just confused myself for a second. So here's the news that you were probably after as well, Andy.
He's still flagged. That is good news, but it's Leeds away. But
yeah, he's 90% few days. So he was 90% in orange before and didn't play. He's obviously now closer. I don't know whether that'll make a difference, but so I guess it's 50-50 again as to whether Samba will play or not.
I'm probably still going to put him on the bench, just because the fixture's not that great for him.
Away to Leeds,
but seeing the Harris flag, I mean, he could be first sub, and if I need him, it's not a bad option, is it? Do you think Samba will play?
I mean, he played the other one when he was orange, so on that basis alone, I'd say there's a chance he plays. So he's got closer. He's got closer to return, but I don't know if that makes a difference really, because he was. I'm pretty sure he was 90% before, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Do you think that affects the Leeds clean sheet more as well, having Samba playing?
Maybe, but I think it doesn't really matter who the players are. It's more about the setup of the team, and because they set up in that way. He'll have less chance. I mean, they'll have more chance because he's a better player, but it's marginal. I think it's more about how they set up for it. Kinet, the star player as well, 5 million.
Oh, all these star players missing.
Yeah.
Oh.
He played 43 games last season for them.
Don't look. Oh.
Yeah.
Had to get Richard Rufus 1 point off the bench, which is not nice.
Yeah. So it could be. Where is Stephen Reed? Listed down defender, if I remember rightly down here. Yeah. Despite that performance, you could see him bombed off.
I'd still expect Kinnett to play. Again, because of the fixture, I've got Kinnett and Samba on the bench. Because they're cheap enough to put on the bench, and if I need to, they can come on.
Right, Newcastle. Any transfers? No. Condition. No one cares about this dude with his broken foot. He's shite. Elliott, a few days, 90%. Can play at left back. Still with that. Robert wants a new contract. Everyone's condition is good. Shearer has not broken his toe. He is available.
I was thinking probably actually, I looked at some transfers for my team. Ziga to Andy O'Brien. Do you think it's a good pick, Andy O'Brien, for this fixture? 4.5 million. So I need the extra cash to get Salakovic next week, hopefully.
Well, there's a bit of a spanner in the works, isn't there? Because they've just signed someone.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Here he is. Dominic Matteo has moved to Newcastle. That was also guessed correctly by most of the people on Twitter. He comes with a decent reputation. He replaced Ian Hart quite a few times for Leeds in their rep games. People remember that. He's got 20 for centre back and left back. So as a result, I mean, their left backs rotate all the time. So I would have thought he comes in at left back, but he can also cover centre back. So I think he'll end up playing both positions and just keep changing.
Okay.
So yeah,
makes it more awkward.
Exactly.
He can get midfield there as well.
Yeah, he can play left wing, can play midfield. Yeah, can play anywhere. So yeah, I'd say left back is his most likely, but centre back will happen occasionally as well. I would have thought, because I say all these players are so close in their ability, it doesn't really know who it's playing, and it keeps rotating them as a result. Marcelino is still probably the safest centre back at 4.5, but after Matteo, I mean, Matteo is now going to be the safest at 5 million.
Okay. So maybe not Andy O'Brien.
I wouldn't chance it, no, because you just don't know how it's going to affect him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't. Kemp's saying he's not got great centre back attributes. I agree with that. However, the game, obviously, it's like the third metric it picks on. His jumping's too low for a centre back. That's why I think he'll probably go left back, but you know, the game's funny. Sunderland, and there's an injury here as well to a player that I actually think is pretty good, and it's kind of annoying. It's Jakob Lawson. He's out for 3 weeks, which is a bit of a bummer. Injured during training.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, decent option. I mean, most people have gone Tome instead of him, so I don't think there's that many affected, but yeah, that means their right back slot is now open, and as a result,
is that burnt Haas again?
We could have a burnt Haas, yeah, but he's transfer listed by request. So, I mean, McCartney's better anyway, and he's right-sided more. So I'd probably say him, but we could have a 4 million. Not that I'd recommend getting him in.
Oh, don't get burnt Haas.
No, it's not good for you.
Average rating 6 right back. Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, you Don't want that in your life. Is there anything else to talk about with Sunderland? There isn't really, is there? Fixtures are still okay, as you pointed out.
Yeah, I like them. Yeah.
Mixed bag. Sullivan, I don't think many people went for him as the 4.5 keeper. I think he might have been one of the highest scoring ones.
Yeah, I think people were expecting Watford to score, weren't they? Didn't happen, but
Tottenham, already a sea of red and orange. Everson, dun dun dun, it's back again. The 10 days gash leg, same as Festa.
Sore bone again. It's horrible.
How long did he last? Like 19 minutes. It was not long, was it? 22 minutes. Poor bastard.
So is that Martin Wood again then? You think for Tottenham?
I mean, you'd have to think so, right? He came on, and he's been
Sheringham's flagged.
He's actually listed for loan. Sheringham is still out 10 days with a calf strain, so I don't think we'll be seeing him. That'll be the shortest cameo ever if they do bring him on, I would have thought.
Yeah, Les Ferdinand option.
Again, it could be, but that's what he played last season.
Out of favour, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, so no. Armstrong's there. 7 sub appearances. Selakovic is still only a few days and 90%. We've seen him play.
That's nice.
On that before.
Hopefully he'll be back for game week 3 and they just completely don't play him this week. But I am worried about that. I reckon we could see him.
Yeah, he could play up front. He could play Chatter saying Selakovic could go up front. He could play AMC. A lot of their players rotate their positions, especially during the game as well. So we don't know. Someone's saying how long for Everson? It's 10 days. Could we double AMC like Talis says? Yeah, they could do that. Sergei Rebrov up front on his own. These guys know their stuff.
Would they have Poyet in the AMC position then?
Well, they could play Selakovic as AMC. It could be Poyet because he is an AMC, but I don't often see them play that. They've obviously got Sean Wright Phillips.
Yeah, as well.
Will continue. Yeah, I mean they can even play Fortune there, which could help out your Ziga.
Ziga star man, of course.
Sean Wright Phillips up front and use his height. Yeah, could be. John Shanley.
What's Sean Wright Phillips is jumping? Must be low.
3.
Yeah, good. Okay, I got that right.
Yeah, Davies is a pretty safe pick, I think, John. Over 30 games. If only
Any
Armstrong
transfers?
had long legs, he might play.
Nice, okay. I get the 90s reference of that. Yeah. Did you have a Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I didn't ever have one.
No, yeah, I had one.
I was deprived as a kid.
Obviously. Sort that out.
Yeah.
Tota, I mean, we slagged him off before, but far better stats than some of the keepers that we could be seeing soon, right? Where's Jalal?
Javin Kelly.
There's your benchmark.
Jalal. Who was on the bench last match?
Mordilier.
Yeah, good guy. Number 1 shirt this season. Everyone's got number 1 Margilia on the back of their shirts.
He's listed for loan as well. Could be
He's got the number 1 shirt.
Oh, they could play Doherty up top actually as well, couldn't they? Another one we left out.
That could be a shout.
Is he 4.5?
Oh God, I haven't seen Doherty. I can't remember. But that would be great if he played up top. He's listed as a defender, isn't he?
Yeah, he will be because he plays there most often. But he does get the odd game up front, so that could be a classic CM moment.
So a proper OP, but yeah, proper.
Watford. Oh, there's no transfers. Did I do Spurs? I did do Spurs. Yeah. Tommy Smith, who was already orange, is still orange. Few days with a thigh strain.
Great stats.
Great player. So, yeah, what's to talk about here? Galil didn't play. Gali. So, I still think he's my favourite shout for the 4 million defender. He didn't play last week, but it could be just like we've talked about, the first few weeks are up in arms. So, wait for the first 3 or 4 weeks. If he gets a couple of games in these next couple of weeks, then he usually then ends up staying in the team. So keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, I quite like Alfinger Haaland now that Tiato's injured. I think he could start at 4 million.
That's an interesting thing, actually. Who are they going to put on left wing? I don't even know. I need to go back to their squad. Helgerson stats. Rob Reed's asked for. Jumping 17. Creativity. Pace. It's not bad. Stamina, strength. He's not bad. The Ginger Pele, yeah.
Oh, it's 5 million for Doherty, isn't it?
Oh, is
That's
he?
a shame.
What idiot priced him is that?
Come on, Luke.
Who's going to play left wing for City? I don't know. I suppose he could be.
So when Haaland came on, it was for Tiato. That's what.
Yeah, but you've got to remember that they only use the bench that they've got available at them at that time. So when they start again, they can only put five. They can only put 4 outfield players on it, can't they? So it doesn't mean that he'll be the guy. I suppose they could put Hall at left wing. I mean, I'm thinking here, looking down, it could be this dude. He's the only one I can see who can play left wing.
I would expect Hall to go left and then Alfinger in the middle.
They've signed him. That's it. Nailed on starter.
He's in.
He's in. And he's
Svensson's left, isn't he, as well?
He can play left, yeah. Yeah, but they don't really have any wingers on their books, look. He's more in the centre and he's dreadful now.
Would you not say Svensson to go left then?
He could do, but now I've just seen that. I mean, he could end up on the right and Svensson left, but now I've just seen his signed. He'd be my front runner. It just seems to be a recurring theme.
Okay. I'm going to say Horlock left and Alfinger Haaland to start.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. And that's 4 million playing out of position.
Peter Carter saying now he's 4.5. Okay, I don't know who to believe now. I can't even remember. Okay, so I think that's all the teams then. I think.
Yeah. Anyone want to see anything in the chat? Let us know. Player stats, team of the week. How'd that look? It's got to kick off soon, I think, the transfers.
Hope so. Obviously, player stats are pretty meaningless. Van der Stroy is still in the top 2.
Bradley Jones at 3rd. Good.
Interesting. Why is it not listing any of this? One game not enough?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. 3 penalties in 1 week. It's almost like Premier League.
David Strom saying, does Samba come on often from the bench?
He's nearly always on the bench, and they have 2 strikers, so you run the risk of him coming off the bench. Yeah, in any game. It doesn't sim data doesn't suggest that he does come on that often from the bench, but you could get unlucky. I mean, I'd say under 10 times in a season, but it could be any time. Especially if one of them's orange. I suppose there's always a chance, isn't there?
John Shanley saying, did Man U have a keeper on the bench last game? I believe so. Would have been Leo, I guess.
Let's see. Ricardo. Someone wants lead centre backs. Look at their stats. Okay. Here's Jonathan.
Great.
Jumping, heading. Love that. Here's Rio. Jumping, heading as well. 8 aggression.
Rio's a player that will often move around clubs quite frequently, isn't he?
It's this 8 aggression that lets Rio Ferdinand down. He doesn't use his attributes. He doesn't challenge a lot of stuff when he should.
Is Seaman at Halifax yet? I think he's still free, right?
Yeah. He was free last we checked. Yeah, we'll have a little look.
For a manager's job, probably. Yeah. Gary Smith saying, did Carrick play? Carrick came on.
He came on,
yeah. Taller and XTS saying, Rennie watch. I don't think we can look at refs because
we can't, because
games are too far in advance.
Yeah, because then the next day it only does it the day. So we can look at Man United's, which is Steve Bennett.
Good ref, yeah. Good man in charge there. No issues with Steve.
Do we get lineup leaks for game week 2? Also, yes, you will have 1 week because that 1 leak because that's what we revert to. I don't know who that will be yet until we sim the game. Halifax, Stephen. Let's have a look.
I don't think he's got the Halifax job. Who took the Halifax job? Yeah.
No, was it Tony Park? No, he got sacked, doesn't he? He's at AIK. He's been signed.
Oh, he's got. Oh,
and he's already, people are already. No, that's going to be from previously. They were all vying for his.
So he has gone to
signature.
Sweden. Fair play, David. Continue the career in Sweden.
Yeah. Eureka Johnson on the tick list.
Everyone in this game's got an Eureka Johnson connection.
Yeah.
Sure. That's the hidden thing in this game.
He'll do a job there. He'll get ridiculous average rating. Poor
Keep
Daniel
track of that.
Anderson.
Yeah, there's a good team in there. There's some good players in there.
Oh yes, we love some AIK. It's Fosberg. He turns out to be a boost most of the time.
Imagine Seaman finishing his career at AIK. Can you imagine?
That was a classic stalwart. Oh no, it's not the older stalwart. I was thinking. Yeah, AIK. Brilliant. Could you pick either Viduka or Van Nistelrooy this week? Be interested if you could pick either. I mean, Van Nistelrooy is an absolute tank. I would never tell anyone not to pick Van Nistelrooy. But if you are ever going to go against him, it's probably in away games for a striker in a home game. And at the end of the day, Viduka outperformed Van Nistelrooy last season. So just on the data alone, I'd favour Viduka, possibly Shearer. But yeah, I mean, it's Van Nistelrooy, isn't it? So he could easily do very well. I mean, as long as you've got Van Nistelrooy, I suppose how much can he hurt you? But famous last words.
Yeah, there's no one else. It's between those three for me. I mean, you could go Hart, but I think out of the strikers is the main thing.
Yeah, Hart I do like as an outside shout. I don't really like any of the away ones at all here. I mean, Sunderland City could be a goal fest, I guess. Yeah.
Did you go for someone like Beckham or Giggs? Is that just too much of a gamble?
I just wouldn't captain a midfielder unless it's Veron. Veron or Salakovic are basically pretty much the only two midfielders I consider. I think last season I only captained from midfield. Yeah, Salakovic. Did I captain Veron? I don't think I did. And Joe Cole are probably the only two midfielders I captained the whole season. Okay.
Or could anyone go like someone like Stephen Hughes? Would that be an option?
I suppose it could be. I mean, it's a good game. Yeah, I don't hate that. I just will always favour strikers. Can I compare Shearer and Viduka? I can do. I mean, the stats kind of speak for themselves, I guess.
You can do a comparison, can't you, on this?
I don't know if you can do it in this one. I'm not sure you can you? Can't remember. I never use it.
Can you go to action or something? Compare players?
Oh yeah, you can. It's the tool that no one ever uses. Well, I certainly don't.
I've used it.
Where's it gone?
So then go back into action, yeah. There we go.
Alan Shearer is better is green, and Mark Viduka is better is red. Yellow is both the same. There you go. I hope that helped you.
It helps me just to visualise it. It's great. I'll be looking back at that.
Great news. Great news.
Anyone else want any more comparisons? Stephen Hughes, Kieran Dyer.
Still there with his clause, CM Fantasy. Did you enter the league with your zombie team? If so, can we see it? You can see it, yeah. Let me bring it up. Be careful not to end the stream whilst I'm doing it.
So what's your rank? About 300 at the moment?
I think so, yeah. I'm not in the top 250 anyway, because I think that's all that appeared. Can you guys see that? I don't know, because you're not on my stream now. Can you see that, Andy?
I can see that, yeah.
There's a bench down there as well. So, because obviously I can't target fixtures, I've just ignored the midfield, gone for 3 power strikers, because I love that. Phillips is my VC, because I hope if Van Nistelrooy doesn't play, he comes in. Petkov, of course. Starting Wally, because I think he can be value of a 5 or a 5.5 midfielder even sometimes. And then I've just gone for power backline. I think all of these guys will do pretty good. Obviously, Terry missed out in that first game. Gardner didn't play. But I got lucky because I've got Evans as a 4.5 of the bench. He came on and got an assist. Hughes was suspended. Maddison, nothing. But for this week, as you can see, I've got no goalkeeper. Gardner's out. Whaley's out. Hippier doesn't play.
It's already bad, isn't it?
Yes, so I'm already on, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 players if everyone shows up, but they won't, so I'll probably be on 9 or 8 already. So I don't think I'm winning it anytime soon.
It's fine. I mean, my zombie team was down to about 5 players after game week 2, so it's all good.
Did Andy influence my pick of Gardner? No, Gardner's a great pick. I'm telling you, he's a great pick. You'll see. I hope.
You'll see. If he can get fit, like last season, we didn't see the best of him again, did we?
No.
Just because of injuries and. Yeah.
I've just gone for it because it's exciting. There's not really much thought gone into that team, guys. I've just ignored midfield and gone for heavy up top and heavy at the back. Because I can't rotate anyone, can I? And fixtures are meaningless. So rather than spend, normally if I was playing properly, I wouldn't have that team. I would look to rotate the strikers for the fixtures and stuff. Any other questions before we roll then?
Anyone else want to see anything? So there's no transfers around Europe or anything? Nothing big like that?
No, nothing's going on. We're only 1 week in. But yeah, I'm sure it will hot up. We've got until March.
Yeah. What about, is Peter Shreves still insecure of the jobs? That was the thing, wasn't it?
I was about to type his name for a second. No.
Just Nielsen from Coventry.
He's done enough. That win over Watford. All good. Wow, I think we'll end it there then, boys.
Nice one, yeah. Cooper Gardner combo loading, yeah.
Cole needs
nice
to have
one.
a comedy account. He's already got a comedy account. That's what we all know him for. Right. It was a pleasure, guys. Hopefully
good luck.
That helped you. Yeah, good luck. Remember, chin up if your players miss out. I can only leak one team. I'm sorry if 9 of them have got players missing. And
just leak Tottenham squad, Tottenham team. Yeah, that would be fun.
No, we already did Tottenham. It has to be someone different. We'll see. Right, catch you later, guys.
See you guys.